Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Men Save Your Marriage show. My name is Terry. I'm your host. I did an autopsy on my failed marriage, and now I use the lessons that I learned to coach other men on how to save their marriage before it fails. I'm going to share with you the things I wish someone would have shared with me before my marriage failed. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hello, gentlemen, and welcome back. You just heard the bell. That means you and I together have entered the ring where we fight. You and I are going to fight to save your marriage. Welcome back again, gentlemen. As you know, my name is Terry, and I am excited that you are here today. We are going to dive into episode number 24, and this is the next episode in our series on mastering communication in marriage. Today, Episode 24, again, Mastering Communication in Marriage. Here it is, how to have difficult conversations without arguments. Oh my, this is a big one. Right over the top. Here we go. I want to teach you, and I want you to understand ways that you can lead in your home, ways that you can have difficult conversations, ways that you can do it without arguments, ways that you can do it where stuff actually gets accomplished and you two as a couple can be productive. So if that sounds like something you need in the struggling marriage you're in, that you're fighting for, if you're ready to learn how to have these difficult conversations without arguments, let's jump right into this, shall we, guys? All right, here we go. Here's what I want you to know right off the front. Difficult talks don't have to end in shouting matches. And I can so vividly remember when I was in the worst parts of my marriage, it didn't seem as if we could pass each other in the hallway without a shouting match. So if you can bring something new to the table, and if you can lead in your marriage in such a way that your every conversation, every interaction doesn't devolve into a shouting match, now you're really showing leadership. Now you've really stepped up, and now you're really beginning to understand how to master communication in your marriage. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So again, how to have difficult conversations without arguments. And we're going to master the art of tackling tough topics with calm, with clarity, but yet with connection. Skills every man really does need in order to save his marriage. As usual, I'm going to come at you with 3 points. We're going to talk about each of these points, dive into them a little bit, and then I'm going to get you out of here and get you on your way into your day. Are you ready? Here we go. Point number 1. You've got to set the stage right, or set the stage properly. Timing and tone are everything when it comes to hard talks. Especially when it comes to hard talks. You know, bringing up money when she's exhausted, or maybe you want to talk about the kids when you're both mad. You know as well as I do, you're just begging for a big old blow up, right? It's absolutely written in the cards that that's what's going to happen. Let's wait until it's the very end of the day. It's late. We've had a long week. We've had a long day, whatever the case may be. And now you want to bring up money and she's exhausted. You're exhausted. You know as well as I do that it's going to be raging temperatures and frustration. And you're going to end up trying to climb back over the same ground that you guys have fought over before and get you nowhere. But instead, you need to learn to set it up like a pro, okay? What if you wanted to have that same conversation, but you said, hey, can we talk about something later? I want us to figure it out together. What happens then? Well, that's not weak, is it? That's strategic. That's like picking the battlefield before the fight, isn't it? See, what you've done now is you've set her and you both up for success. You've given her an opportunity to come into a conversation with the right frame of mind and not a defensive one either. And how do I know that? Because of the way you said it. Hey, can we talk about something later? You see, if you left it there, then she's going to come into it defensive, because now she's got to have all of her guards up. She doesn't know what you're going to say. She doesn't know what's going to happen. What does he want to talk about? Why are we going to have this conversation? What's happened? And now she's starting to replay the last interaction. She's starting to play the last few days in her mind. She's maybe even going far enough back to replay the last fight or the last few fights. And so she's coming into that with a defensive posture because all you said was, hey, can we talk about something later? But what if you said, hey, can we talk about something later? I want us to figure it out together. And you had the right tone and the timing was right. And you delivered it in such a way where she understood, hey, we need to have a conversation, but I kind of want to protect you in this and I want to protect me in this. So I want us to figure it out together. Now she comes in as a potentially willing partner, ready to solve a problem with you. Again, that's not weak. That's strategic. Okay? This is absolutely strategic. And studies show that 70% of arguments start because of bad timing. Don't be that statistic. Figure out and understand when and how to address hard topics. I worked with this guy who would ambush his wife with, we're broke. And he would ambush her after work or at the end of a long day. Well, it was a disaster every time. So after a little bit of coaching, one day he says, hey, can we talk about the budget tonight? And when they sat down, they actually figured some things out. They solved some problems. So what I want you to do, I want you to pick a tough topic this week. Maybe you owe her an overdue apology. Or maybe you need to have a conversation about the in-laws. Whatever the case may be, do not dive in hot. Do not dive in when she is hot. Do not dive in trying to catch her off guard. That's not working to save your marriage. That is kind of trying to figure out when you can do it to win the conversation. That is not the way to approach this. The way to approach this is to make sure you use the right timing and to pick your battlefield. Okay? Hey, can we talk about the budget tonight? Something as simple as that. Whatever that thing is, the overdue apologies, the in-laws, whatever. Don't dive in hot. Set both of you up for success. Why? Because now you're leading in the marriage. Say something like this. Hey, let's hit this when we're both ready. We need to talk about this, but let's hit it when we're both ready. You're not dodging. You're not directing. You're not misdirecting. Okay? Understand that hey, let's hit this when we're both ready. Are you ready for this conversation? Maybe she's not. Or I'm not ready for this conversation. But if you could say, I owe you an apology, or we need to talk about this, but let's hit it when we're both ready. Watch how the air stays clear when you set it out right. Okay? There's less yelling, then there's more fixing. This is how you do this, and this is how you set the stage properly. All right, point number 2. Stick to I and not you. So in other words, let's say you blurted out something like, you always ignore me. Well, you know as well as I do, you've just lit a match to gasoline, right? What have you done? You always ignore me. You've just put all of the blame on her. Her defenses are up faster than you can imagine. And now you have thrown, it's not even really a match to gasoline. It's like you threw a grenade in between you into the middle of a conversation or into the middle of the beginning of a potential conversation because you used the word you. Stick to the I, not the you. But what if you approach that same conversation and instead of saying, you always ignore me, what if you began with, I feel ignored lately? You see, it's different. It's how you feel. It's not what you're blaming her for. And what it does is it opens a door for some understanding instead of slamming a door in frustration. The I statements keep it about what's going on inside of you, in your chest, in your heart, and not what's wrong with her. I statements say, hey, this is how I'm feeling, or this is how I interpret this, instead of saying, you are in the wrong, or you always ignore me. Okay? And research shows that if you can understand this and learn to use I statements, and I feel this, or whatever that, if you can understand how to use these I statements, they cut arguments by half because they do not corner her into a fight. Okay? Okay, imagine she's late again, late coming home from work, late out with her girlfriends, whatever, late, whatever that is, right? Instead of saying, you're so selfish, because that's going to get you nowhere, right? But what if you said, I feel sidelined when you're late? Now you've got her thinking. You've said the same thing. You're just not calling her selfish. You're not laying that blame. What you are doing is telling her how I feel. I feel sidelined when you're late. And it gets her to thinking. Okay? I worked with a client who would say, you never listen. You never listen. And she would never listen. It would always devolve into a fight and an argument from there. Until he switched and began saying, I feel shut out when we don't talk. That's almost exactly the same as you never listen. But if it's, I feel shut out when we don't talk, well, she didn't just hear him. She apologized. So I want you to practice it this week. Next time you're mad, start with I. Start with I. Start with I. It could be something as simple as hey, especially since you're here, you're listening to me because you're in a fight for your marriage. What if you started with, hey, I'm worried about us, instead of starting with, you seem distant. Hey, I'm worried about us. You practice that this week. You've told her how you feel. You've opened up the conversation with the right timing and with the right tone that allows for the potential to solve the problem. You see, when you start with, I'm worried about us, instead of you're distant, it's not soft. It's sharp. It's cutting through the noise directly to her heart. And you will see her pause, okay? Instead of pouncing back in a defensive posture, she's going to pause. And in that pause, where she doesn't put her defenses up, well, that's where the real talk starts. And finally, point number 3, you got to know when to pause. You see, not every tough talk, not every hard conversation gets wrapped up in one round, in one conversation, in one sitting. Okay? Sometimes it takes multiple conversations. Sometimes it takes conversations and then some time to think and some time to pray about it, some time to experiment with ideas, and then we come back around and we talk about it some more. So not every tough conversation is going to get wrapped up in one sitting, if you will. But what happens when tempers are beginning to flare, or we're tired, or life has caught up with us, or whatever the case may be, and you begin to push it? Well, when tempers flare, it just buries whatever you're dealing with deeper down inside. Or what if tempers are flaring and it's beginning to heat up, right? What if you just said, hey, let's take a break. I want to get this right. I'm starting to get upset, but I want to get this right. Let's take 10 minutes, or let's take a break, whatever it is that you need. You see, that's not surrender. That is strength. It's almost like a boxer in a ring. You're going toe to toe with an opponent that's a similar size and a similar weight and a similar strength as you, and one round after another, one fight after another, one blow after another. And maybe you need to pull back, catch your breath, and regroup. Well, that's what that is. Hey, let's take a break. I want to get this right. Okay? Too many guys think that pausing is losing. But what it really is winning with the long game. You see, cool heads find answers, whereas hot ones miss the mark. You need to have a cool head, and you may not have the answer, but as the conversation begins to get heated, as the conversation heats up or tempers begin to flare, that's when we need to be able to come back around and say, hey, listen, let's take a break because I want to get this right, and I'm getting frustrated, and that's not going to work for either of us, right? So there is strength in knowing when to pause. There was a couple that I've worked with, and there was always screaming. It was screamed through every fight until he started pausing, and he literally looked at her and said once, "I am too mad. Can we just stop here and hit this tomorrow?" Actually, that's not how he said it. He didn't say, "Can we?" What he said was, "I'm too mad. Let's hit this tomorrow." And immediately he was leading out in the marriage. And he realized, and he said it in such a way without any blame on her. He said, "I'm too mad. Let's hit this tomorrow." Well, when they came together the next day, what happened? They fixed it, because they came back at it with cooler heads. They came back at it with a little bit of space to think through maybe what they said, what the other one said, how they were feeling. And what they really did, what truly happened, was they knew when to pause. And because they paused, they were able to come together the next day and fix it. So I want you to try this week. You know, when the air's getting kind of thick between the two onions, don't be afraid to call a timeout. Hey, listen, I need to take 10 minutes here, but I'm not done. Or I need to take half an hour. I want to solve this. I just need to take half an hour because I'm starting to get upset. Okay? Walk away, breathe, come back clear-headed. It's not about quitting, it's about quality. This is about the quality of your conversations, the quality of your resolutions, the quality of the answers to how you solve the problems. It's ultimately about the quality of your marriage. So don't be afraid to walk away and breathe. This is what leadership can sometimes look like. Okay? Again, it's not about quitting, it's about quality. Just one single pause, just one pause like this, "Hey, I need 10 minutes, could turn a shouting match into a solution. So it's important that we understand this. And that's the difference between a man who fights and a man who leads. You don't need to necessarily be a man in the fight. You need to be a man who leads in the marriage. All right, very quickly before we get to a wrap-up and a call to action, even the greatest athletes, the best of the best, for me that's Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, they had coaches to push them, to refine their skills and help them win, because no one reaches their full potential alone. If your marriage is struggling, don't go at it alone. We have the Men Save Your Marriage mobile coaching program. It is now available on our website, and it gives you direct, on-demand guidance, just like a top-tier coach would give to Michael Jordan or to Tom Brady, right? This is me helping you to navigate the toughest challenges in your relationship through quick, personalized coaching, whether that be text or audio or video. I'll give you the exact steps you need in the heat of the moment when you need them to turn things around in your specific marriage. No fluff, no waiting, just real help when you need it. Your marriage is worth fighting for, okay? And let's win this together. We will fight this fight together. So if you need coaching, go to the Men Save Your Marriage website. It is just www.mensaveyourmarriage.com. That's all one word, mensaveyourmarriage.com. Go there today, sign up for the coaching. You can cancel it at any time, but maybe you have going through a month where you really need some extra coaching this month. This is the time to call me in off the bench. Let me help you. Let us fight for your marriage together. All right, as a wrap up, I want you to take a tough talk this week and use these steps. Set it up properly. Set it up with the correct timing. Own your I. Own your I. Again, not with the you statements, with the I statements. Okay? Pause if you need to. Hey, can we come back in 10 minutes? I want to solve this, but I'm getting upset. Can we come back in 10 minutes? Keep it simple, right? And then I want you to share this with another guy in your life who's dodging hard conversations. He is going to thank you. I promise you he will. I want you to, wherever you get your podcast from, I want you to rate and review us. Give us 5 stars if you feel so led to. And let's spread, because the more 5-star ratings we get, the more people see this show. And let's spread this wisdom and spread this opportunity to help other men fight for their marriage. And finally, as a final thought here in episode number 24, gentlemen, hard talks don't break marriages. Hard talks do not break marriages. It's the handling of them that can go very wrong. So let's make sure we're handling these hard conversations correctly. Ultimately, if they're handled correctly, they can actually be one of the key triggers that draws you closer together. Remember, hard talks don't break marriages. Handling them wrong does. That's it for me today, gentlemen. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode number 25 of the show. In the meantime, go out there and make it a great gentleman. Have a good one and take care.